boys and girls, it's me, Mrs. Rojas. Thank you for tuning into my channel, Mrs. Rojas E-Learning. Okay, today we're going to be covering our math day 3 and day 4 lessons. So your packet should have this. It should say Unit 31, Algebra, Fact Families, Addition and Subtraction. This is what we're going to be going through in this video, okay? All right, so first page is just your intro. It gives you information, parents, and just what your packet contains. Okay, page 2, this is the teacher-directed lessons. This is what parents can be following as part of a procedure, okay, along with the other few pages on here. Everything that's in bolded words, dark words, that's something that the parents can actually be saying to the child, okay? And then it tells you below what you could be doing at that moment to teach them the lesson, okay? Otherwise, just follow my video and I'm actually teaching it for you, okay? All right, so at the very bottom, it focuses on vocabulary. So look at your vocabulary. This is like a quick review for you. So we're going to be covering words add, subtract, sum, and difference, along with fact family, which are the actual set of related numbers that we're going to be utilizing, as well as inverse operation, which we know that inverse, it's going to be the opposite operation. So if you're subtracting, then you know the opposite or the inverse would be your adding. The same thing, if you're adding, the inverse property would be to subtract, okay? So always utilize this if you need it. Throughout the video, if you hear me saying any of these words that you're still not 100% familiar, refer back to this page for vocabulary, okay? Now here we're going to page 3. This is our intro. So for our intro, we're actually going to be utilizing this page, which is page 7, okay? So as looking at this page, this is like a game, okay, that you're going to start to play, okay? A few suggestions from my part, please. You don't have to do it this way, but I think that it will organize it a little bit better, okay? So number these cards, these two, as a 1. The next card's 2, the next card's 3, and the last ones will be 4, okay? Which you know you're going to utilize those for your actual addition problem, okay? The last cards at the end where it says sum cards and it says cut here, go ahead and write sum on the top of each of those cards, okay? That's something you can be doing now. You will end up cutting all of these cards out because you're going to be kind of playing with them on your table or wherever you're at where you're working. And you can build your addition problems, and then these you can kind of mix them up, right? And you can find the total, right? The sum to your problems, okay? So you can use that, and you can also use it as an inverse operation for your subtraction as well, okay? And then I'll teach you how to do that as an example. I'm only going to do one example of this. The rest of the time you can play with it for a while and keep it, and you can work on it throughout, okay? So at this moment you can go ahead and start cutting them out as I will. Okay, boys and girls, so now that you cut out your cards as I did, I cut out the sum cards. I didn't cut out the domino cards. You can cut them all out. If you do not have scissors, it's okay. Don't worry about it. You can just kind of look at it and be matching. And what I would suggest you do is actually write down the numbers that are on your domino card. So you count them 5, and I know I'm going to be adding, and then I know I'm counting the pips here. So 5 plus 3. So I already created my addition sentence for that one, okay? And I didn't cut them all out again. You can. It's up to you, okay? Now I'm taking my sum cards, and remember, boys and girls, I have my sum cards, and I did write sum. So now when I count these, I need to come up with my total. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I know that it would equal to 8. So what I'm going to do is actually look for my card, my sum card that has the 8 on there, okay? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? So make sure that you're counting those pips, those dots on there. And I know that my sum here for 5 plus 3 would be 8, okay? So then you can play a few rounds with these cards, creating your addition problems, just like here. Let's do one more, and then I'm going to show you how to do it for your subtraction, okay? This is just an intro for fun. So this one has how many? 2 plus, count these, how many? 4, good. Now we're going to look for our sum card, and we're going to count. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I know 6 would be my total, so I will look for my sum card to match my set of cards together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so far so good, boys and girls. So now I have these as my addition problems. Now what I'm going to do now is that I have my fact family numbers that I'm utilizing here. Okay, those are my numbers. So I'm going to utilize those now, and I'm going to make a subtraction problem. I'm going to do this one, 5 plus 3. Okay, so now 5 plus 3 equals, we said, was 8. Okay, good. So now I know that in my fact family I have 5, I have a 3, and I have an 8. Those are my digits that I'm going to be utilizing. So now I'm going to make a subtraction problem with those, okay? You can do it using your cards. You can just move them around, okay, if you have them all cut out. So what I do for a subtraction, I actually take the sum, okay, and I'm going to use that with one of these parts, one of my add-ins. I'm going to do the 5 first. So 8 minus 5 gives me, what number do I have left? Or would be your card, would be your 3. So 8 minus 5 equals 3. Now, is there another way to show another minus problem? There is, just like there is for an addition. Because if I were to switch these around, 3 plus 5, it's still going to give me the same sum. It's the same thing. Now for your subtraction, you're still keeping the large number, which is 8. But this time, instead of subtracting with the 5, you're going to switch those numbers. Now I'm going to do the 3, that part, and that's going to give me my result or my difference as a 5. So you see how I utilize the same digits in my fact family, okay? So go ahead and play for a little bit with those cards, okay? Create some of your addition problems, create some of your subtraction fact families as well, okay? All right, so now I'm going to move on. If you played, go ahead and play for a little bit. Play a little bit. Okay, welcome back, boys and girls. I hope you had some fun playing your intro dominoes game with your addition and subtraction fact families, okay? All right, so now that you've had practice, now we're going to do the model here. So make sure you look for page 8. We're going to be focusing on that one for to continue on our day 3 in lesson explanation, okay? So now for this one, boys and girls, again, we're going to end up cutting out these domino cards at the bottom. If you have scissors, right, you can cut those out. If you do not have scissors, remember, you can always just draw the dots into your squares, or the pips into your squares, okay? Or get another sheet of paper and write down the problems on the side like you saw me doing earlier, okay? You decide how you would like to do this as well, okay? All right, so right now is the time, boys and girls, for you to take your scissors and start cutting out the cards. Okay, now that you have your cards cut out, okay, if you didn't notice that some of these domino cards, they had the same number of the pips on there, so 4, 2s, and 6s on there, which now you know that you're going to be working with which fact family, the ones with your 4, your 2, and your 6, okay? So for now, go ahead and pull out the 4, okay? This one, we're going to place it here, okay? Now we're going to take the 2 here. Okay, so now we're looking at a addition problem, okay? We're going to be looking at 4 plus 2. Now, boys and girls, if I count those pips, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what do I get as my total? I'm going to get 6 as my total. So now I know that 4 plus 2 equals 6. And what you can do here is go ahead and write it, okay? That's extra practice for you, okay? Now, the next one that we're going to do is going to be your inverse for your subtraction, okay? But before we do that, let me just challenge you. What would be another addition problem you can come up with these add-ins, okay, with these numbers? Let's see. So now I'm going to take the same ones, and now I'm going to actually switch them over. So now I'm going to put 2 plus 4. What do I get? Is my sum going to stay the same? Yeah, it should stay the same with your addition, okay? Now let's look at the subtraction. We're going to be working with our inverse property. Remember, once again, go to your vocabulary sheet if you forgot what inverse means, okay? We're doing the opposite of our operation. So instead of addition, now we're going to look at subtraction, okay? So now what I'm going to do is use these same fact families. So for now, if you have a pencil, go ahead and write the numbers that we have so far, which are 4 and 2 on those blank lines, okay? Now, and also your 6, because we know that that's the only 3 that we're actually working with today. Now, go ahead and use these. Now, what I want you to pay attention to, boys and girls, is you're going to take the sum. And that's the one you're going to put first when you're doing your inverse property. So now I'm going to take the 6. I'm going to move it down here. And I'm going to take one of those parts. Okay, let's start with which one? The 2. So now I'm going to take 6 minus 2. When I take away 6 and 2, what do I get? Remember, I'm taking away, which means I'm subtracting. It's becoming smaller. So I'm left with 4, and this comes down. Okay, you see how I didn't use any other digits? I'm using the same ones. This is why it's called a fact family. Okay, so now I know 6 minus 2 equals 4. Is there another fact family for subtraction? Okay, think about it. Try to write it out, figure that out, and let's try it. So now this one will stay the same. The large number always stays the same. I'm going to subtract, okay? Now I'm going to just switch these 2 parts. I already did it with the 2, so now I'm just gonna move it over. I'm gonna do the 4, and I know my difference would be the 2. So 6 minus 4 equals 2, okay? Go ahead and take some practice with that, try it out, and we'll be back with you. Hi boys and girls, welcome back. Now we're going to explain what you will do for day 4. For day 4, you're going to be doing your guided practice, okay, which is I'm going to guide you through it a little bit, and you will be ending it with your independent practice, which is the last sheet that you have left, okay? All right, so guided practice, page 9, go ahead and take it out and have it ready, okay? Here you will need to utilize a pencil or a pen or a marker, a crayon, whatever you have available to you, okay? You are going to be drawing in your pips into your domino cards of the missing numbers that we're going to use for our fact family, okay? So now that we know, boys and girls, fact family, we're using the same numbers, right, to create either an addition or a subtraction problem, okay? All right, so hopefully you're understanding the gist of fact families. Okay, now let's complete another fact family here. This time we'll use the facts we know to find unknown numbers. So as you notice that there's 2 given, but 1 is not. Okay, and that's one of the numbers that we're actually using for our subtraction problem. Make sure you're looking at the symbols so you know what you're solving for, okay? All right, look at the fact family at the top of this page. There are 2 facts, one subtraction fact, okay, and one addition fact, which is right here. In the subtraction fact, 2 of the numbers have been given to us. We have the numbers 4, right? And we also have the number 5 right here. So 4 and 5, okay? The third number is the one that's missing. That's the one we're going to work for. I will write the numbers 4 and 5 in the first 2 blanks, okay? So here are my first 2 blanks. So 4 and 5, those are already in there, okay? That's what we see. Now, boys and girls, I'm not sure what the missing number is in the subtraction fact, so I'm going to explore the numbers 4 and 5 to see if I can figure it out, okay? I may not know the fact yet, but there is an addition fact I know with the numbers 4 and 5, okay? So I have 4 and then I have 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then my 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I know that that's an addition problem, right? Because I'm doing the inverse, because here I'm subtracting. I need to figure out the missing part, okay? So when I do 4 plus 5, what do I get as my total? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. You answered 9. You got it. Okay? All right. So does that mean that 9 is my other missing number? I want to say yes. So we know now that 4 plus 5 equals 9. And that 9, if I'm taking 9, right here, boys and girls, 9, and I do what now? Minus the card that they gave us, 5, equals what? You should get your 4. So I know that my missing number would be my 9. What you can do here now is you can either write the number or draw in your pips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we solve 1. All right. Now what I want you to do now is create your addition problem for those same numbers, which are your same fact family, 4, 5, and 9. Okay, so what would it be? What would be my addition problem here? The same one that I put here. So I have 4 and 5 equals what? Good job. 9. 4 plus 5 equals 9. Okay? Now we're done with that. Now let's go to the bottom one. Now on the bottom, boys and girls, they're also giving us sum, right? And now we're going to add, okay? What is the inverse of the addition? Would be the opposite, which would be to subtract. Good. So I have 3. 1, 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm going to do what? Well, I'm going to actually take my total. Sorry, I'm taking my total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Write it down. Minus the part that's given to us, which is what? 3. So now I have 8 minus 3. I take away 3 from 8. What do I get? Good. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go ahead and draw it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know that my fact family numbers are the numbers that were given to us. 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the last number that we figured it out was 5. So my fact family is 3, 8, and 5. Now, boys and girls, let's look at the subtraction down here. What would be the numbers we're using to make a subtraction problem? Remember, we need to take the what? We're taking the total. The total here was 8, which is this one, minus one of these parts. Let's do 3 equals what? Which is my 5. Okay, and you can draw those in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I know that I just created my subtraction fact family. Okay? All right, boys and girls, now I'm going to explain what you're going to do for your independent practice. For your independent practice, you're actually taking the last page, which is page 10. Okay, you're going to do the same thing that we just did here. You're going to do it 2 times. Okay, so make sure you're counting, make sure you're looking at your operations and see if you figure out your missing digits. All right, go ahead and have fun, stay safe. We miss you and see you soon. Bye.